Learning also Yesod Torah Perek Beis Halachot Tes in the Rambam. Everything that's found in the world except for the Creator, Mitzura Rishona, from the very elevated, most elevated angel, Ad Yitush Kotten, until the smallest flea, Shei B'Tabur Oretz, which is found in the navel of the earth, meaning the smallest is found in the lowest part of the world. They are all created from His truth or His being, His essence. And since God recognizes Himself and recognizes His greatness and His glory and His truth, He knows everything. There's nothing that can be hidden from Him, because it all emanates from Him. Now, there is another aspect, which is the difference between the understanding of man, the understanding of the Creator. People learn from knowledge that how it works, and then until they come to the comprehension. By HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's the opposite. He recognizes everything why it is, and therefore He knows the thing itself. That's why nothing is hidden from Him, because He is what created everything. So the HaMelech said, He who planted an ear, obviously He can hear, meaning it's not that He hears from the way we hear, but He gives us hearing because He's the one who created hearing in the first place. If somebody created the ability of sight, certainly He can see. And when, as we said earlier, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Himself is the wisdom, you can't say there's a chokhmah, a specific type of wisdom attached to Him. The foundation, what we have to comprehend, is that there is no knowledge of the Creator like His understanding of us or of how we comprehend Him. His comprehension is much more than our being, and there's always new knowledge. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu is, the knowledge in Himself is the same, and there's no new thing coming in. And meaning by man, it's continuously increasing, and therefore when God knows the source and the root of everything, therefore He knows everything that's there. And the Mefarish explains that knowing it to its fullness is very difficult, because our small intellect cannot comprehend something so great. It doesn't work in the same fashion. Just like a person can't understand the truth and trueness of the great Creator, as it says in Shmois, Lamed Gimel. It says, "No man can see me and live." So too, a person cannot comprehend God either, not only see Him. Like seeing is a concept of intellectual viewing as well. It can't be done. Okay, Hilvez, Yesod HaTorah Perek Beis Halachot Yud. HaKadosh Baruch Hu recognizes His truthfulness, and He knows it as it is. And it's not a knowledge, an outside knowledge, which other beings are, that we and our knowledge are one. People see, because we are not. We and our knowledge are not one. Whereas HaKadosh Baruch Hu and His knowledge is one entity. The Creator, He and His knowledge and His life is one from every aspect and from every point, position, and any way of looking at it. The Mefarish explains that knowing this fully is very difficult, because our limited intellect cannot comprehend this, the intellect of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what it says in Yeshayahu, because just as the heavens are higher than the earth, so is distant my my way from your way and from your thoughts, and my thoughts from your thoughts. And just like when somebody builds a building, he has to prepare everything to know what he's going to build. Certainly, the Creator, if he wouldn't know everything, then he wouldn't create it. This that the Creator knows everything, and he is oneness with his knowledge. The Rambam explains in the Moreh Nevuchim that the Rambam proves this principle. He says, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu would have knowledge only from outside sources, then this is something else out there as well. And it can be. And the Rambam says in Perek Hey from Hilchos Tshuva, Halacha Hey, we explain in Perek Sheni, the second Perek of Hilchos Yisrael HaTorah, like HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it doesn't know from outside sources like we do. Because man and their knowledge is separate, and each one learns from its other. But like HaKadosh Baruch Hu, his oneness is so complete that we can't even comprehend it. And just as a person cannot understand the greatness of a creator, it says that no man can see God and live, so there's no power in man to achieve or to find the knowledge of the Creator. That's what the prophet says. My thoughts are not your thoughts, and my ways are not your ways. The Rosh was asked in Tshuva, what's the intent of the Rambam? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows with the knowledge that is only within him, but not from outside. And the answer is that a person isn't the total knowledge. Only he and his knowledge are one. However, a person is not a knowledgeable being. As he lives, he continues to gain insight into the world from outside factors. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu, everything that's there is knowledge, and knowledge is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because if he would be living like every other creature, and he would have knowledge from that which is outside of him, that would, God forbid, mean that there are other beings or gods who he and his life and his being and his knowledge came, and that is, the circumstances is not such. But he is oneness from every aspect, from every point, and any way of intellect of combining. Nimtzas ato oimer, does the Rambam continue and says, we find who Hayodea, he is the one who knows. Who Hayodua, he is the one who is known. Who Hadeya Atzmei, and he is the knowledge itself. Hakol Echad, it's all the same. But over there, this concept, in way a person can say it, nor can hear this, nor can the heart of man recognize this to its fullness. And therefore, that's why Jesus says, Chai Paroi, by the life of Paroi. Abigail says, Cheinav Sheikh, by the life of the king. Hashem, it doesn't say Chei Hashem, by the life of, but rather Chai Hashem, God is living. There is no Chei Hashem, meaning for the life of the essence of life of God is not made up of years like that of the physical beings, or even like the angels. Now the Rambam says this is the difference between Chei, the word Chei, which is with a Seirah, a sound, that it means separate from the life is separate from the person. Chai, when it's with a patach, an a sound, it means is one. And the Mefarish explains that a Chei with a Seirah, a sound, is a description of the physical person who's living. above himself there is his life, the importance of his life. But Chai is not a description; it's a fact. It's a therefore, and therefore he doesn't recognize the creations and know them because of they are creations, just like we recognize other creatures. He knows them from his own essence. And therefore, he knows himself, he knows everything. Everything is dependent upon his essence and being. There are those who ask on the Rambam from the Nil. There it says, you see, it says in Tzera, he swore by the one who creates the life of the world. That's not Hashem. But the Rambam himself in Moreh Nevuchim explains that the intention is the source of life of the world, and he gives it its life. Now, with this regard, there's a difference how to put the vowelization at the end of Yishtabach. Chei ho'ilomim with a tzera, chai ho'ilomim with a patach. Chei ho'ilomim would be the life, who gives life. And chai ho'ilomim means the life. In the Mishnah, they say, Mizvah Shalei HaShabbos, Mizvah Shalei Osa Lovoi, the Yom Tov Shabbos Menucha, L'chayei ho'ilomim. So now there you have both a patach and a tzera. The Bartanura says l'chai ho'ilomim, and Tosfos Yontif writes that they're correct. L'chai ho'ilomim, it means Hashem Yisborach, who is the life of the gives the existence of the world, as it says in Nehemiah, V'ata machayes kulam, you cause everything to live. Chai ho'ilomim is also correct because it says Vayishba b'chai ho'ilom, meaning it's an adjective to the world. And it means here the life of the world, and everything that's created from the world. But Chai is its own noun. It means the world that is alive, and that you can't say that the world itself is alive. But you can say Chai Hashem. It means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu and his life are one, and existence is one. HaKadosh Baruch Hu and existence is one. And the Tosfos Yontif is of the opinion. You can say Yishtabach Chei ho'ilomim b'tzera, which would mean the one who gives existence to the world. Balakeido, questions on the Rambam, we don't find in Lashon HaKodesh a noun for the word Chaim. How can you say Chei ho'ilomim? And he answers that Rav Shmuel Arkot Balto, that it's like water, that there's nothing separate from it. But when you have another word to it, you say Mei Hayam. You say it with a tzera. Or Shomayim, that is Shmei HaShomayim, the heavens of the heavens. Rabbi Yaakov Emden, in his answer, in his Chuvas, his response, disagrees on Tosfos Yontif, and it says you have to say Chai ho'ilom with a patach, not Chei ho'ilom b'tzera, like his father, the Chacham Tzvi, and he brought proof from the Zohar HaKodesh and other places. At the end of his response, he writes that the Maharal, the teacher and master of the Tosfos Yontif, said you should say Chai, and therefore, who should he listen to? The master of the disciple. You say Chai ho'ilomim. The Chidor writes in the name of Chagiz in the Eitz Chaim, you should say Chai ho'ilomim. And that would seem to be the way it's written, the Chidor says. But the Chidor disagrees, and he agrees with the Tosfos Yontif, that you should say Chei ho'ilomim. And still the minig in all of Eretz Yisrael is to say Chai ho'ilomim, not Chei ho'ilomim.